Josh, your tips, pro group racing, Beaver and Daggy with you to look at smorgasbord of racing from Kembla and Ballarat. Doesn't it get you excited?
It's a smorgasbord of not all you want to eat.
No, I know. It's a vegan smorgasbord.
It is a vegan
But
smorgasbord.
this was bad enough I decided to play cricket.
Yes, that is bad.
Anyway, let's fill
It wasn't that bad for me to want to do that, mates. But yeah, let's hope we can find a few winners here. Between what looks to be a pretty average card for a Saturday.
Yeah, a little bit excited about the card for me, but we haven't turned off by now. Let's see if we can find some. Generally, though, we do a little luck with these sort of programs. Speaking of which, you knocked the lights out yesterday. Wednesday.
Yes.
On fire, but
I started pretty strong, didn't I?
Yeah, first 5 wins or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then came home with a couple late, one in Queensland, which I loaded up on. 15 rounds. Yeah, pretty much around the 480. But I
was on fire until N and was absolutely wicked.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand that right. If he snags it back in behind, it probably wins by 3 lengths. But yeah, some of the decisions sometimes. I think Peter Moody's right. You should be able to give him a spray every now and then because sometimes the decisions just don't make any sense.
I love Blake McDougall just on that. I think he's a tremendous jockey.
Yeah.
But I heard that message. I want to send my horses to Peter Moody.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Better.
Some constructive feedback and a bit of firing up. It's never hurt anyone. Take it on board, young fella, and be better.
Anyway, let's start again, bro.
Let's get on.
We've got a good track, the rails in the true big fields. So again, once we get these sort of horses on the Kembla, you can play a bit leaderish. But you generally, as a rule, it's down on the side, and that's how I've sort of treated it. But we'll kick off with a highway, 1400 metres, big field. Anything you want to start the day with?
Pretty open race. I've gone for the Lady Carr, who's had 2 starts for 2 wins. I kind of went through this field and looked for what I thought could win the race, and I just kept coming back to it off its Goulburn wins. I don't mind the Goulburn form. I think sometimes it stacks up. He went from maiden straight into Class 3 at Goulburn and has won convincingly both starts. I think perfectly drawn here. Gets the 3 kilo claim. Don't know the jockey, don't know the trainer, but it's 52, so gets a weight pull off most of these, and it's probably going as good as any of them.
Gave me a clue because she's picked up a couple of highways along the way, so she's all right. I don't have with 20 races to do. That was not one of ones I was particularly interested in doing. The benchmark 72 is the midway, 1400 meters up next. It then never got any easier, to be honest. But a couple here I was looking at, and where was the standout for me? It was it's like a sore thumb here. Burning Need. Had to carry Frankie Dettori last time in town in the 4 pillars. Comes back to its home track where it is an absolute jet. Gets Glenn Schofield back on top, and currently is $26. Drawn for the right part to be swooping late, and I think it is a great chance here at the price. From Exelitis, who didn't have a great deal of luck at all last time, will improve off the 4 pillars as well. And obviously Estero stuck outside lead last time. Has been brave both runs back, but this is probably its time. Gets Dylan Gibbons. What do you make of this one, Beaver?
Yeah, open affair. All 3 you've named are genuine chances. I went for Danish Prince, 3rd up here. I thought the first 2 runs in town in sort of this midway type company, highway company, has been pretty good. Finished 2nd in this type of affair last start, only a length off either or, and then 7th in a similar form race, only a few lengths off when it was first up. And it came back in distance from 1500 to 1300, goes back to 1400 here, which I think suits. Inside draw is okay at this stage and gets a sit, so I think it can run well.
The 3rd is the 2000 meter benchmark 78. Nautical Miss was very impressive on Cup Day. He's sticking there? Or
yeah, I am going to stick there with Nautical Miss. I thought around the $10 mark.
Surprised at the price?
Yeah, I was surprised at the price as well, and so that got my attention, and yeah, it was good. Was good like when last time. It's been good all prep here, and I think the extra 200 out to the 2000 suits, collared on board, going well. Good chance.
Comes home too. Comes to a home track. I ended up finding a lot of Kembla based horses throughout the card for whatever reason. I've got it on top as well. Great chance. I think it gets the right draw as well and has to run well here. From Karmazone, who comes through the same race, wasn't given any chance in that race.
No.
And started in the market and was flying before that, and I think is a great price here. And didn't have a lot else I wanted to add. I thought Naval Seal was disappointing last time.
Yeah, so did I. Bless you.
Thank you. So going to stick with those two at an each way price. The 1111 is up next, honoured with a benchmark 78 over the 1,000, where I was looking towards, what did I do here? Well, I ended up, after all of that, finding Way to the Stars. I wanted to go around it, but it come back flying this prep. Nice resumptions, won trials both side of it. I'm giving Vianello a chance later in the day as well. Inside gate, you'd want to be able to see the rail being okay, of course. But we'll run well here from Classy JB, who's done nothing wrong. Both runs have been great. I think that Mars mission form is stronger than this and wasn't beaten far by it. A bit of a claim for Zach Lloyd. I think they're the clear two. Alexo, no luck last time, and you had a feel for that. But they're the two I'm going to play with. You can back them both.
Yep.
What are you thinking?
I went for Way to the Stars as well. I thought it resumed really well. My only concern with Way to the Stars is that its 3 wins have all been first up from its 7 career starts. So it may be a first up horse, but I'm going to bank that, now it's matured a bit more. It can run well here. It's drawn well to get into the race early. So I did have it on top. And as you said, I had a bit of a feel for Delexo last start and didn't have a lot of luck. So I'd be saving on it again.
The 5th is a benchmark 78, 1,200 meters. We've got 5 coming out this morning. Anything you like here?
Sticking with Pretty Wild here. From the Wallow stable, Jason Collett on board. Only lightly raised 3 starts for 2 wins and a placing. Trialled well enough behind all-time legend prior to this, but form when last in work was really good. It beat Pizarro before it went out. Second to Rebel Shadow and comfortable behind beating Beirut Miss. I think that's pretty good form for this, and I expect it to run real well.
I ended up with I've put Vianello on top. Nice resumption at Warwick Farm off a long spell. I think up in distance, the nice key is the key here, and I think it runs well. Zach Lloyd again. Either or is flying. Now comes home after a win in town in another midway and runs well again, as does Divine Breath, who I thought was coming into this preparation going quite well, and unlucky not to run a place there for us at a price, but will run well again here. You have to respect Pretty Wild, but it wasn't overly blown away by the trial, is why I've gone around it, and you've summed it up well. But again, looking at local horses, plus the blue colours, which is the flavour of the day for me at Kembla. Got another 1,200 metre benchmark, 78 up next for the boys. The top weights have come out. Anything you like here?
I'm going to go Able Willie here.
Does it need to win one of these?
It does need to win one of those, and I think first up here it can. I thought the trial was okay. Was a fair way off the winner, but wasn't pushed out. Look, there was some wraps on this last preparation, and it went to Melbourne, and I thought it was pretty solid. Ran in a good weight race there, which overpassed one, and that's got ability. And then yeah, not too bad at Moonee Valley. I think here gets the right setup here, drawn well. Abdullah can get it into a good position. This is not an overly tough field. Main danger, Kanazawa. I think it can run well as well.
I've got Kanazawa on top. Trials were good coming back here. It did some good stuff last time. Best run is probably on the dry track as well, which I think suits here at the each way price. From Mars Mission, dry track again, key. Nice win. Where it gets to in the run, maybe concerned. Tommy's not one to really take a position from an outside gate. Neither is the Hawks team, so
Yeah,
maybe stranded last,
concern.
which is they're not a stable. Generally, will go forward from there. But I think the horse is going really well. And Rainbow Connection run one well up in Queensland. Again, one that's been waiting for a dry track the whole time. Got one last time and won well, and comes down here again. Will run well. I want to see Able Willie do something. Is why I've gone around it, particularly in these sides. All day, the thing is, the best horse it doesn't have the best setup in a lot of these races, and they're 20-horse fields. So you want a bit of a premium for luck, I feel.
Yeah.
But the quaddy kicks off with the Warra, a $300,000 1,000 meter race. And what a crew they've put together here. What do we do with Dragonstone?
I'm going to give it one more chance.
I was inclined to do the same thing.
Yeah, I narrowed this down to 2 horses, and I've got a slight leading for Dragonstone. Has had one start at the track for a win, and I don't think it trialled well. And then I don't think the runs, like it was in a Group 2 when
Yeah.
it ran behind S4, who's flying, and then come to Randwick and probably was not overly suited on a track that it was hard to run on. And
Yeah.
Clemenceau just dictated pace there and was way too good. So I'm inclined to forgive. And it gets to a better track now. Third up, it's drawn the right spot. I think if it can win a race, this is it. I think the main danger, if it was drawn better, I may have flipped them, but Brockner, I think he can run really well as well. Trialled nicely at Hawkesbury, beating Jojo Was a Man.
Mhm.
And prior to that, ran second behind Home Affairs in Group 1 race.
Yeah.
But 12 months ago.
The long
and
spell is
a bit of
probably
a
just what had
concern.
me
But
concerned.
Group 2 ran third and then won a Group 3, so beating Artorias. So
Yep.
if you look at that form, that is amazing form for this race, right? Just the 12 months off, not quite sure, but I wouldn't be letting it get under my guard, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've taken all the words out of my mouth. I've got Dragonstone on top. Just, I don't think there was any chance in that race last time,
No.
so it has to be here. Bruckner is obviously the scary horse here, but are we yet to find one of these ones off 12 months that win first up? Generally, they need the run.
Yeah, and drawn 12.
Yeah. So that left me with the two main dangers being, again, the Godolphin horses back in the weakest race have been in for a while. Thorric maybe wants it wet, but coming back from chasing Joyful Fortune, and that was a nice run up the straight there. Kalos, same thing, just got in the wrong spot. Perhaps can sit a bit closer here and give you a sight, but I think it's Dragonstone's race. The feature is the mile Gong for $1 million, and it's another gala. How did I tie all these up? I've put Hope in Your Heart on top. Again, coming back to its home track. I think it's flying. Very good in the Golden Eagle, not far off I Wish I Win. Getting a very nice price to find out. And I just took the stance. I'm going to be against all the stuff around Old Flame. So I was left with it on top from, dare I say, Purple Sector, who will run well again. And Oscar Zulu, nice resumption at Goulburn. Comes here at $15. They're the three I'm going to play with. Other chances, yeah, thereabouts, but promise of success needs it wet, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sticking with my three, all at a price.
Yeah, I've gone for Hope in Your Heart as well.
Oh, well.
I'm quite keen, actually. I think I'm quite surprised it's not favourite, to be honest. Its form's been
Isn't that the best form?
Yeah, I think so as well. It won a Group 3 at Newcastle, but backed that up at Randwick, and its win at Randwick that day was outstanding. It just come through and just smoked them. It was a great win in the Group 3. And then it came from 15th on the turn to finish 4th last start behind I Wish I Win, as you said. And that was a huge run.
Yeah.
There's no I Wish I Wins in this. And I just think Gate 14 is a good draw. It can get midfield and hopefully get a little bit of cover and produce at the right time. Very keen at the $7.50. I thought promise of success could improve. I didn't rule
Wasn't
it
in
out.
the right part of the track.
Yeah, so I think it's a chance. And I thought something like Surf Dancer, if it's able to dictate up front over the 1600, could get away with some cheap sectionals and prove hard to run down. But yeah, clear on top for me. Hope in Your Heart.
Beautiful. The 9th is a benchmark 88 over the mile. We saw Nugget with a nice debut in Australia last time out. Comes to an average benchmark 88. I think it clear top pick here and runs well. From Honey Creeper back to a mile, I think suits. Does need a win this prep, but has been okay. Was not a bad run behind a tissue there. I think the best run it's had was through we're just missed behind Hope in Your Heart at the mile at Randwick. So comes back here, Tim Clark on main danger for me, Beaver.
Yeah, I thought Nugget was pretty good first up as well. And if it can bring that form plus its previous form to here, certainly got to run well. And this sets up nicely for it. So I had hit as a on top pick, but I thought the main danger was Solar Apex. Charge late last start. Again, this hopefully a little bit of pace on here. I think it's in the right part of the track, and I think it can be storming home at the end as well. So I thought it was nice enough odds as well.
Okay. I'm just sick of it, so left it out. 1400-meter benchmark 78 takes us home. Another crazy, crazy race. I'm going to spec a couple of double figures. I think Mar and Par is come back in really good order for Clary Connors. And the resumption was pretty good off the back of some nice trials. Again, nearly 20 to 1. We'll give you a sight here from Deficit, who dry tracks key, went up to Queensland, had a couple of easy kills up there, comes back inside gate and potentially lead here for the Gerald Ryan stable, fresh, and will run well. Kamagui next best, again, nearly 20 to 1. Resume gelded and when won well first up. Beaver.
Yeah, I narrowed it down to 2 as well, but none of yours. I thought Anaqua could run well.
Yeah.
Double figure odds. I thought the first up run was pretty good, and horse that has a little bit of talent. So I thought it was a good chance, and I'm hoping Bella Rouge can find some of its form that it had last preparation. Now third up, fit enough, and this is when Warra tends to produce these horses. So I think close watch on it.
Beautiful. Let's see if I can find a Kembla Grange quaddy, eh? First leg, 2 Bruckner, 3 Ethoric, 6 Kalos, 9 on the lead, 10 Dragonstone. Into 1 Jess Folk, 7 Berdebeck, 14 Purple Sector, 20 Kiss Sum, and 11 and 12 Oscar Zulu Hope in Your Heart. This might be anything. 4 Zushak, 7 Honey Creeper, next leg. And let's come home with 3 Mar and Par, 5 Tamerlane, 6 Deficit, 10 Arnequin, and 14 Kamagui. That could well pay several mortgages off. You've got a best and value at Kembla.
Yeah, my best bet's race 9, number 4 Nugget.
Yep.
I think it'll be hard to beat. And my value bet's race 8, number 12 Hope in Your Heart.
Beautiful. My best is race 6, number 6 Mars Mission. There you go. Don't know where that came from. Hadn't been drinking yesterday either. Let's make it Hope in Your Heart rate instead. In the Gong, I think it's there to run well. And my value race to number 20, number 23, Burning Need. Must have been the price. Anyway, Burning Need in the midway will run well. Let's get down to Ballarat. First, need to give a shout out to Moneyman Rod, who sent in a nice email during the week, Beaver. He's been a supporter of ours since the start. He wrote in to let us know that he occasionally even jumps on some of my mad 20 to 1 tips and still waiting for one. But
yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
That ain't win often.
No. If you got something on Renault, so
1 in 20.
Right. Macram, what else do you need there?
Yeah, 1 in 20.
Yeah, 1 in 20. There you go. And doesn't even mind when Kelly's in the dishwasher when you try and do a midweek preview.
It's actually my son stirring the milk, doing the strawberry quick.
Oh, all right. Churning the butter. Right. Okay.
So pretty harsh there about the background. But anyway, Moneyman Rod, what a good bloke.
Yeah, good bloke.
He's pretty happy. He said over the last 12 months, he's certainly in front following our selections. So can't get any kind of worse than that. So thanks, Moneyman Rod. Hopefully you've got a few on the weekend, and thanks for the wrap.
Well, we're heading to Ballarat, where we're going to get a few more 20 to 1 tips here. On a heavy track, rain's coming. It's going to be heavy. The rail is in the true as well. Ballarat's a nice, big, spacious track. No trouble running on there generally, but I've got fears that it might be a bog tomorrow. So not the most confident I've ever been heading to a meeting. 1,200 meters, benchmark 78 kicks us off. How are you going to start?
I'm going to start with Hypothetical. Third up here, I think clearly the best horse in the race here, and there's nothing, you can't find any fault with its recent form. Won first up at Geelong in nice fashion, and then third at Flemington in a fairly decent race, and sort of was on the pace, lost its spot, and then still finished off. So I think it can get into the right part here of the track here and be hardest to beat.
Yeah, he looked lost for about 300 meters up the middle of the straight. He was by himself up the middle and just was throwing his head around and didn't look happy. So back around to Ben Suits, first crack at the track, and potentially control. There's not a heap of pace underneath. So I think is a nice way to start the day from defining who is talented and did some good stuff last prep. The second is the Eureka Stockade 1400 meters for the 3-year-olds. I'm stuck with the up and comer DK. I thought both wins have been fairly nice, albeit in much weaker stuff, but did get through the wet very well at Bendigo last time, and I just went away from a lot of this other spring stuff and giving it a chance here. I was surprised it was as short as it is, but maybe I'm not the only one that thinks that, Beaver.
No, I've flipped. I've gone King's Consort. I think it gets its chance at Ballarat tomorrow, third up. First 2 runs have been in pretty good class race. I think it gets the sit on these and gets last crack. So if it's going to win a race, it'll need to be this, and I think it'll be winning.
The 2-year-olds Magic Millions Classic is up next over the 1,000. Do they still run it backwards? Still when they run the other way, or have they got rid of that?
They still run forward, but you mean the other way, anti-clockwise.
That one, yeah.
Or
Be quite a
clockwise.
2-year-old race if they're in backwards, actually.
It'd be interesting to see him run backwards. Don't know.
Yeah.
Good question.
No, anyway.
Let's watch.
We'll find out, eh? I've got Sunsource on top. I've liked it stepped out all 3 times to the trials, and all 3 have been pretty good. Last time it was probably more of an education one where they dragged it back and it still hit the line very well. I think it's a talented horse for a pet stable of mine. I think runs well here around the each way price from Marla Boom, who looked nice in a Sydney trial, and that has always boded well for these sort of races. 2 for me, obviously scared of Sassy Boom down the bottom as well, but I think can run well. Here's Sunsource.
Yeah, certainly can run well. I've gone for Malibu. I liked the Sydney trial. I like Matthew Dale taking horses down to Melbourne. Obviously thinks it's got a good chance and Ollie aboard. So I've got Malibu at the $6 on top.
Cool. The 4th is the Benchmark 70 1100 meter race. Resumption of a nice horse here in Ice Peak Nick. Did some nice stuff last time. Trials have been good. Only concern is first up on how heavy this track is. That'd be the only thing I'd be a bit nervous about. But I do have it on top from Vivian, who you just have to completely forgive the last time out of Mooney Valley. Before that was flying. So, and may well get control here, actually. So I think it's the nice big track at Ballarat will suit. 2 for me here. What do you made of this?
I've narrowed it down to 2, both at sort of that each way odds. I've got number 4, Najim Sahel. I think it's going well. Really like its recent form. Thought it finished off nicely in that same race that Snapper won, which we were just talking about with what horse was it? In the second, King's Consort.
Yeah.
I think it can run really well, and I like the way that Screwed Down won last start. I think it can run well as well, and it's been around the money last five or so starts. At the odds, I'll be playing both of those.
The 5th is a Benchmark 78 mile, where every turn I took here brought up another question mark. Want to find Beltora, but can't go in the wet. Ain't no deal. Duns off a second up long spell. Don't know. So I'll have a spec on Court Deep at who beat Sheik at Glam, who come out and won well on Wednesday. Gets a claim and gets through the wet very well, and he's in the 20s. He's one of those in the 20s for us. And as I said, not much else we're going to talk about. A very small play race for me. Anything jump out at you?
Super keen on number 17, El Redonte.
Okay.
Loves the sting out of the ground. Had 2 starts on soft for 2 wins and a heavy for a win as well. Really good run last start. I mean, it's won 3 of its last 4. Yep. Only failure was a nice run at Sale, but last start had the sit, finished off really nicely, really positive ride and win there. I think gate 7 suits here. I think you can get into a really nice position here. Weighted well at 56. I'm keen on it. I think the $6 is good value.
Excellent. Like a bit of confidence. I need some. Benchmark 84, 2,000 meters up next. And this stood out like a beacon on a rough day, and it's Parisian Dancer. Complete wet tracker, might be probably the best wet tracker on the card. And ran really well chasing Flash Feeling last time. Looked a chance in that race on a good track. Back to the heavy, nice draw. No, I like it. And it was a good price. I was surprised.
$6.50.
$6.50, yeah. It was well and truly backable in this race at that price. So probably the best clarity I had all day. Sticking there, Beaver.
Yeah, I'm sticking there as well for all the same reasons as you. Really good wet tracker. The wetter it gets, the more it'll like it. Won its first two this prep and last start fourth. No concern in what looks to be a pretty average race. I think you can get a good run here, and Archie Alexander's a good trainer to follow.
The seventh is the Magic Millions Ballarat 3 and 4-year-old Classic, 1100 meters. It's a regal sounding name for Sydney prize money. Standard Sydney prize money. What do you like in the race?
I'm going Elite Icon from the McAvoy stable. Thought it resumed really nicely at Mini Valley. Started favourite, got back, and stuck on okay. I think the little bit of extra distance here up to the 1100 suits. Form prior to that was pretty good. I think this is drawn 11, right part of the track, and if handles the conditions, can be right in the finish.
Same. I don't know if 9:55 at Mooney Valley necessarily suited it, but resumed okay. And I think Red Hawk Nick is the danger. A little trier that resumed really well behind Red Card, who's a talented horse that's come down from Sydney. I think gets through the wet well. Good man Blake McDougall on top. He'll be on his game tomorrow, so you can back both at the each way price there, and I think have the field covered here. The Ballarat Cup, the feature, is up next over the 2,000 meters, a listed race. Well, here they are. What'd you do?
A tissue for me.
Bless you.
I tipped it last start. I thought it got its chance to win last start and didn't disappoint. I thought that was a really good run in the Group 2 race at Flemington. I thought it won well, dominated that race. Keeps Oliver on board. Well, gets Oliver from J Max, so not a huge loss there. Gate 6 is okay, and goes all right in under these conditions. So I think it's placed nicely here.
Does the Wallace stable just turn up tomorrow and just think it's Polygray's day and gets backed off the map and bolts in?
Possibly.
Like goes forward and have all systems go. And
I think they would be hoping stuff.
I
with
think they
the
think
track.
that it would
Yes.
be. It's been what they've waited for.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit scared of it, but I think the Moroni stable has the key. Bermuda's going quite just nothing went right in that race at Flemington. Over raced and got back and was okay.
It just concerns me that it's going out an extra 200 and it over raced at the 1800. Whether it just
does. I feel like Proggy going on probably means it leads. Jumps forward and tries to lead like it did.
certainly handles the
Sale.
going 5 out of 9
Yeah,
on the soft.
well, and I think Froggy Young on goes forward now, which it led up and ran quite well behind Uncle Bryn on the drier track, a couple starts. So some intention there. Look, Banker's Choice is probably the best horse in the race, but needs to win one over here. But it was a nice race, but a nice run behind Zaki last time out. And Tokarangi, I feel like it's finally building to something. It was a good run in that tissue race. Might not go in our yard at all in the wet is the problem. So but I'm siding with the Moroni stable. I think they can might have the key here. Benchmark 100 is up next. Race 9, sprint race here, where I decided to just turn around and be against the Vespertine race altogether, which left me with Do Your Punk on top. I thought it would be a better price than that, though. But
Really?
here it is.
No, I thought it's about
lightly
right.
raced, get through the ground, a claim as well. So get it right down in weight. And a youngster on the up. So think it's here to run well from Nemeth, who is a Saturday Sydney winner on the heavy track. And just nothing went right in the Kosciuszko, back on the wetsuits, and is over the odds. That's the way I went. Beaver, you?
Yeah, look, I had 2 Year Punk as well. I think it likes the sting out of the ground. It's got nothing on its back, 51 kilos. And I think there'll be enough pace on in this race for it to get the sitting shot on all of these. So thought the $4 to $4.50 mark wasn't too bad a price, to be honest. So clear on top for me.
And we finish up with a benchmark 84 1400 meter race where Detonator Jack was a really nice resumption, lightly raced horse, second up, handles the soft going, plenty of upside, and is something I can finally stamp and say will run well here. Yeah, from not much.
Yeah, you gotta like the the first up run of Detonator Jack. I think it was suited by the Flemington race and got the split at the right time. A little bit skinnier now. I've gone for Mnemeth. I thought it was a good run, finished second in that race. I think it can run well. I just thought the $6 was slightly better value there, and maybe a bit concerned that Detonator Jack's sticking to the 1400 second up syndrome. Might go against it, but certainly scared of it.
Can you give us your quaddie at Ballarat while I work out who I'm going to tip?
Yeah, cool. No worries. My quaddie. First leg, race 7. Number 1, Direct. Number 3, Red Hot Nick. And number 4, Elite Icon. So 3 in the first leg. In the second leg, I'm going number 2, Polly Gray. Number 3, A Tissue. Number 11, number 10, Bermudez. Number 11, Future Score. And number 13, Lord Vladivostok. In the third leg, I'm going number 4, King of Hastings. Number 5, Nicolini Vito. Number 13, Crestani. And number 15, Do Ya Punk. And coming home in the last race, I'm going number 1, Detonator Jack. Number 8, Mnemeth. Number 11, Green Fly. And number 15, Zakat.
Lovely. Have you got a best in value for progretracing.com.au?
Yeah, I did have that. My best comes up in race 2, number 1, King's Consort.
Okay.
And my value bet comes up in race 5, number 17, Al Redonte.
Beautiful. I'm gonna make my best race 1 number 6 hypothetical on a tricky day, and I make my value race 9 number 11 Nemeth. Anything for us up north, up at on the sunny coast, eh?
Yeah, a couple up at the
Beautiful
sunny
part of the
coast.
world.
Race 2, number 12, Gamboo. I think it can get one up for us earlier in the day. And then moving through the field, again, wasn't overly keen on a lot of things in the day. Race 6, number 5, You Called It. Race 7, number 9, Jeswa Bell. And then we had... Is that right?
Josui Bell.
Josui Bell. And then race 8, number 16, Without Revenge.
Beautiful. That has been Show Us Your Tips. Thank you, Beaver. Check out progretracing.com.au for plenty of news going on there, as well as tips, or Beaver's tips for Mooney Valley. We'll get them in at some point in the next hour or two. By the time you see this show, they'll be up there. And sign up for their mailing list for plenty of other stuff to your inbox. Take care, guys. Good luck tomorrow. I think we'll need it. And we'll catch you next Wednesday.
Never need it, mate.
Bye-bye.
Good judges.
Who?
Us.